Hi folks, welcome to my presentation on the use of technology to facilitate active learning or experiential education. As an added feature of this presentation, I will be using TechSmith Snagit, video and image capture that allows me to use multiple media within the same video presentation to include video imagery, still imagery, PowerPoint, and web surfing, and other things, anything that I could project on my computer screen. Using technology to enhance interactive and experiential education, subtitled Teach a Man to Fish. I think it's important to remember Matthew 28:19, "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations." I think it's notable that Jesus' teaching was always directed toward action. We see this earlier in his ministry when he speaks, Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Emphasis on does them. Jesus' teaching always oriented toward action, and action was often a significant part of the teaching tool. Here's research from Arizona State University indicating that the more actively we learn, the more effectively we remember. Obviously, other factors are at play, including emotion, as Dr. Johnson said in residency, including learning style, for some people, repetition. But the point is that when technology can direct us back to activity, interaction with one another, interaction with the environment, it can help us learn better. One example of how I've used technology for active and experiential learning is by canceling my classes. Maybe one or two at a time, not consecutively, but technology enables me to record a 10-minute lecture, post class notes and resources, upload these in the learning management system, and then cancel the class, and require an immersive, out-of-class assignment on the student's own time and with destinations often of the student's own choosing. For example, I had students read a Frederick Douglass biography selection next to his nearby statue in Talbot County where he was enslaved. It was a powerful experience for the students. They reported being connected to the material in ways they otherwise could not have been in class. In an interdisciplinary course studying the human relationship with nature, I sent students to Y Mill Pond and Sparrows Point. Now, this is an example of how TechSmith can enable me to break out of the PowerPoint and show you Y Mill Pond. This is one of the destinations where students watched a sunrise while they read a selection from a novel. The novel was about a sunrise, and the experience that students had was profound, according to their reflections and journals, and far more powerful than had they read and discussed the same material in a regular classroom. Contrasting that experience of sunrise at Y Mill Pond was a subsequent activity taking them to read a similar selection from Bill McKibben's End of Nature at Sparrows Point, abandoned steel yard, hyper-polluted just outside of Baltimore and perhaps the opposite of Y Mill Pond. And this helps students deal with and grapple with course content about the human relationship with nature in ways that I simply couldn't have done with a regular PowerPoint slide. So as I'm trying to demonstrate a little bit here, TechSmith software can help me create more dynamic lectures, not least because I can walk students through step-by-step instructions. I can combine varieties of different mediums, image, audio, video, and periodically I can bring up my own image to show visual aids that I have physically. So it's very useful for that and for a variety of reasons. Ultimately, to interact more closely with a student from afar. Another way that technology can help bring people together virtually for engaging in interactive learning is Google Hangouts. This is similar to Zoom or Skype. It's free for up to 10 people, so it's great for group projects. And it allows, which Skype and Zoom don't, for the use of Google Drive simultaneously to the communication and the collaboration. So if you're in Google Drive and you're using Google Hangouts, You could be participating in a video call, you could be sending messages, and you could also be working on a shared document together. So there's plenty of scholarship that supports the value of active learning and experiential learning. And of course, mine is tipped in the direction of the National Outdoor Leadership School because I like to study the human relationship with wilderness and the natural world. And here's an example of the literature that abounds. Learning, transfer, and adventure education. Adventure education promotes, and experiential education promotes higher levels of emotion and interpersonal interaction and social group interaction. So these things help support the learning process. Many more articles abound. I provided this link, which will be embedded in my PowerPoint survey, so you could peruse if you are interested. Okay, so for application to biblical studies, here are a few examples. Students could review biblical manuscripts at the Smithsonian during a canceled class day. This could be something they do asynchronously on their own based on your embedded course learning management system, embedded notes, directions, and mini lectures. TechSmith could record a Logos support video showing students how to do a word study, for example. Also, Google Hangouts could be used to create a collaborative study session or translation exercise. So students would have support at that very difficult beginning stages of Hebrew or Greek. So my final thought is that tech can direct us back to interpersonal interaction, either with one another in class or with the world around us. And those are my favorite aspects of experiential and adventure education, and I like tech best when it directs us back to those analog elements of our daily lives. Thank you very much.